Good morning, grade 5s. It's great to speak to you again. If you hear something in the background, we are on a farm and they're harvesting something. I hope they're harvesting chocolates because I need some. Right, please go to your textbooks and find page 70. That's 70. Pause the video and find the page, please, before we continue. Let's continue. On top of page 70, you'll see spelling. And they say that number 1, break these words into smaller sounds. For example, labyrinth. You've done this a couple of times before in Afrikaans, I'm sure, as well. Sometimes you need to break up a word, like when you're at the end of the sentence and you want to have to cut a word in half to continue on the next line, you have to do so. If you write an essay, for example. Let's look at the examples they give us there. Number 1, Minotaur. Remember, they refer back to the story we did yesterday of Ariadne and the Minotaur in Greece. Right, Minotaur would then be me-no-taur. You can break it up in 3 little bits. The next one, 14. Now, the obvious breakup there would be 14. Okay, revenge. Revenge. You cannot break something between, you cannot break a word up between an N and a G, so in this case it will simply be revenge. Listen to the sound when you pronounce it. It will give you a clue as to how you could break up the word. You cannot break it up if it doesn't make sense at all, if it will sound weird when you pronounce it. Next one is probably. Nice one. Probably. An easy one. Then hated. Hated. 2 parts of that word. So if you come to the end of a line and you want to use hated, you can say H-A, little line, and the next line then tid. Hated. Ariadne. Now people usually, we will not break up someone's name into little bits and pieces, but if we have to, we will say Ariadne. So there are 4 little pieces we can break it up into. I want to get on to the next part on page 70 where they say work with words and sentences, and they refer specifically to the relationship between adjectives and nouns. Now I want to, as an example, say, remember that certain adjectives definitely go with certain nouns. Certain adjectives cannot be used with certain nouns. For instance, if you see a boy and a girl and they're both really good looking, you can say, that is a pretty girl. But you cannot say, that's a pretty boy, because it won't make sense. You'll have to say, it's a handsome boy. In the same way, you can't say, it's a handsome girl. That won't make sense. So certain adjectives definitely go better with specific nouns. Let's look at the examples there at number 1 on top of page 70. They give us a couple of words there. Adjectives and nouns all grouped together. Man, monster, custom, hero, bad, brave, fierce, and young. Now in this instance, we're going to go back to the story and remember the detail of the story we read. It was a Greek myth. And that's how we're going to match them up. So the matchups I have here would be the following. Brave hero, that'll be that young man from Greece who saved himself and killed the Minotaur. Yeah? Brave hero. So brave is the adjective, noun is the hero. Fierce monster. Fierce means you're not afraid of anything, you're fearless. So fierce monster, that adjective and that noun will go together well. Bad custom. A custom is your belief or the way of doing something. If I don't really believe that what you are doing in your culture is a good thing, I will say, that's a bad custom. You might think the same thing about something I might be doing in my culture. So bad custom would fit there. Adjective and noun. Custom would be the noun. And then something like the last one would be something like young man. There are a couple of young men in this little story, but there's a specific hero there who is a young man, the main character in that story, and that is a typical combination of adjective and noun. Young is the adjective and man is the noun. Now I want you to please take your dictionary and go look for specific adjectives that you think would suit specific nouns. Have a good day.